So the sociologist is saying some, so at least one person argues that capital punishment for theft was an essential part of the labor discipline of British capitalism. So at least one person thinks that capital punishment for the crime of theft is important for British's capitalism. Critics of such a view, so the people that are against this capital punishment, argue that more people were executed for theft in pre-industrial England than were executed in England after industrialization. Okay, so why would more people be executed for theft in pre-industrial time than after if this is essential for British capitalism? I don't know. But such a criticism, so we're talking about the critics' criticism overlooks the fact that industrialization and capitalism are two very different social things, in that the latter, so industrialization, predated the latter, so capitalism came before that makes sense. Capitalism came before industrializations by several centuries. Which of the following? But first, what's our conclusion?
So that the criticism overlooks the fact that industrialization and capitalism are very different social things.
Yes. And then, which of the following most accurately describes the role played in the passage by the point that capitalism and industrial are distinct? Is that just our conclusion?
Yeah.
That capitalism and industrial are distinct?
And they're two very different things.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was a answer choice.
All right, well, some people argue. Okay, so A, it is cited as some evidence against the claim that capital punishment for theft was an essential part of labor discipline in British capitalism. I guess, yeah. I would leave that for now. Because the fact that they're different is evidence against the claim. But maybe not, because we're just saying why are we saying they're different? So I have to really ask myself this. Why are we saying that they're different? We're saying that they're different because these critics are arguing that more people were executed for this. Okay, so the critics' criticism. So critics of the original people are saying that more people were executed pre-industrial England than were executed in England after industrialization. And so I think what these people are trying to say is that, well, clearly this can't be true because more people were executed before there was pre-industrial or before industrialization. But I think we're countering that by saying, hey, they're two very different things. So actually your reasoning is irrelevant. Like we could have had capitalism before industrialization. So really this point here doesn't matter. Okay. It is cited as some evidence against the claim that capital punishment for theft was an essential part. Okay, so it would not be against it because our conclusion here is not against the first conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's against the second. So this would not be correct. Because we're not trying to say that it's not essential. We're just trying to say that it could have existed before pre-industrial England. All right, B, it is cited as a direct contradiction of the claim that capital punishment for theft. I don't think it's a direct contradiction. Because once again, it's not calling out the first sentence, it's calling out the second sentence.
Mm-hmm.
C, it is an attempt to conclusively prove the claim that capital punishment for theft was an essential. No, I feel like these are all, because we're not saying this to conclusively prove it. We're just undermining that second sentence. D, it is cited as a fact supporting the critics of the view that capital punishment for theft was an essential part. Okay, I don't love this, but since there's only 2 answer choices, I'm going to leave it. The reason I don't love D is because it's saying, like, are we supporting the critics of the view that capital, like, I don't think it's being used to support this first one. I think it does play that role, but mainly we're undermining that second one. Like, I don't think this sentence is necessarily like for or against saying that capitalism is essential. I just think it's possible. E, it is an attempt to undermine the criticism cited against the claim that yes, I like E, because it's saying that it's trying to undermine the criticism against the claim. So we're trying to undermine this second sentence. Oh, sorry. I'm going to draw this better for you. So it's saying it is an attempt to undermine the criticism. So we're on the second sentence here is the criticism. Here, I'll do it in a different color. So this is the criticism. And then it says cited against the claim. And so that is against this first claim here. Are you following that?
Kind of.
Okay, so this sentence here, this orange sentence, is an attempt to undermine the criticism. So we're using this orange sentence to undermine the criticism of these critics. And the claim and the critics are criticizing this first sentence. So we're undermining the critics essentially.
Okay.
And that's how I would got into E.
Okay.
Sorry.